there's this old saying that I think is Warren Buffett, which is that in the short term, the stock market is a voting machine,
Yep.
and the long term, it's a weighing machine. And so, at some level, I think that the credibility of any consulting firm, like in the long term, is really driven by like the honesty of the people and like
Yeah.
the drive for real results and the kind of way that they support the clients. And so, if it turns out that not, if it turns out that, hey, like actually a lot of digital transformations fail and maybe SAP does come with it a lot of baggage and risks and other issues, it could help the firm's credibility long term that there's someone who's calling it out or
Yeah.
thinking more innovatively. Or it could just be like, hey, different strokes for different folks. Like maybe the CPOs that are like, hey, I want to buy IBM,
Yeah.
they go to somebody. And then when they're like, hey, I want to see what's new in the space, they go to you.
And that's how it plays out. That's
Yeah.
exactly how it plays out. The other thing is, and I wrote about this in my book, is that you get into consulting groupthink, and you're seeing it
Yeah.
right now with AI and agents. Everybody's saying the same thing.
Yeah.
And 5 years ago it was AI and machine learning, and 5 years before that it was blockchain, and
Sure.
like, and if you read the stuff, everybody and during COVID, it was
Yeah, of
resiliency.
course.
But I took a handful of white papers from all the consulting firms, and when I read them, they're all saying the same
They
thing.
all say the same thing.
So I
Yeah.
mixed them up and put some quotes in the book, and I came up with 5-point plan, like random 5-point plans from all these different things, because they all said the same thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not afraid to call out the profession too, because we get into the echo chamber of best practices. This, you are failing at that, and it's very pejorative, which also drives me nuts. Because we sit in an ivory tower echo chamber bubble,
Yeah.
and then we we pontificate down to as some critical judge. And when you get out there, the real world is messy.
It is messy. Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's easy to say that. And so I didn't even answer your question, but I take a much more conciliatory tone. I'd make fun of people that stand in the ivory tower. And I try to inspire. That's my goal, is to inspire, but if not just encourage folks, cheerlead for folks, because the day-to-day sucks. And so when you do that and you take that tone, then your message gets through. And if I make fun of SAP or Carney or whomever, then people are like, hey, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy, because I know more than those stupid consultants that you have people at these companies with 5, 10, 15, 20 years experience.
Yeah.
And then you bring in consultants and you get the partners in that, do the song and dance. And then the project starts, and you basically get people out of MBA school,
Right.
who know nothing about procurement
Or younger.
or younger. There's a cognitive dissonance to the people that are working at these companies, and they're supposed to bow down to the consulting wide, not current.
Yeah.
We have a playbook, and we are all knowing, all arrogant, and we're well put together, and you're wearing a hoodie, and so you can't know as much as I do, because I've got, I'm all put together. And that dynamic, and I see it all the time, is just so the arrogance just irritates the shit out of me.